Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, with a new kind of chat called sequels. Actually, it's sequels and prequels, but today it's sequels. The question is, what to do if you like piece of music X? Well, X today is Ravel's Daphnis and Chloé, which will have a video of its own at some point. But right now, we all know what it is, right? Or most of you will know what it is. And if you haven't, go find out what it is. It's Ravel's largest and greatest work, a ballet on a Greek mythological subject. Now, Ravel billed his ballet as a choreographic symphony. The reason probably is because it has a theme that gets developed throughout the entire work. That theme is da 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 da. That's the theme, right? Now, you don't have to worry about it for the rest of this talk. But if you listen to Daphnis and Chloé, that's the theme. We'll do it again in the Daphnis and Chloé video. Don't worry. But of course, the fact that you have a theme that comes back doesn't make anything a symphony, and the piece has no particular, symphonic shape or form. But that's what Ravel called it, maybe to take a jab at the Germans. Who knows? It's a masterpiece. It's a huge, fabulous masterpiece. But what's interesting about it is, of course, the mythological Greek setting, the fairy tale atmosphere, the magic in the scoring, and the incredibly creative use of the wordless chorus to add texture and color and impact to the story. Now, of course, Ravel's piece inspired quite a few others, and a bunch of composers wrote ballets after that were either inspired by it or similar to it in some way. That is, they use magical, mythological fairy tale subjects. They have wordless choirs to help contribute to the atmosphere of the piece. The orchestration is fantastic, and they're great works in their own way. I don't mean that they're sequels in the sense of being pale imitations. These are fantastic pieces of music by wonderful, wonderful composers, but no one pays attention to them, and they don't get played, and nobody cares, and it annoys me, because people should. And so if you like Daphnis and Chloé, I am going to talk to you about 3 different ballets, some of which were written also for Diaghilev and the Ballet Russe, some of which were not, but which you really should hear, because they are major works by composers who do not deserve their neglect. And I can just about guarantee that if you like one, you'll like the other, because they're just similar kinds of pieces. They belong in their own sort of stylistic warehouse of musical, conceptual, formal things, right? So number 1, and this is a new recording, which I haven't reviewed yet, but I will shortly. This is Narcisse et Echo by Nikolai Tcherepnin, the Russian composer. Now, Nikolai was the father of Alexander Tcherepnin, who we're also going to be talking about at some point because he wrote wonderful music. And this is a mythological Greek ballet with a wordless choir, a tenor solo in this case. And it's about, 48 minutes long. This is actually its second recording. This is Lukasz Borowicz with the Bamberg Symphony on CPO. It's a new release. There is an earlier recording with Gennady Rozhdestvensky, on Chandos, which is just about 5 minutes slower, a little bit less exciting, but it's also very good. I mean, if you hear it, you will not be sorry or disappointed. But this one, because it's a little shorter, has a coupling. La Princesse Lointaine, the distant princess, which is very pretty. I mean, it's, a little 8-minute bauble. It's very, very, very pretty. But the bottom line, it's sort of, Tcherepnin's version of the Pavane for a dead princess. This is the not Pavane for a distant princess or something. I don't know. Anyway, Narcisse et Echo is definitely a work to consider if you like Daphnis and Chloé. The scoring is enchanting, although I do think that in some composers' hands in ballet music, the tambourine is like a deadly weapon, but that's okay. It's great music and wonderful to listen to, and a real find. I mean, it's a real discovery. So if you get the Chandos or you get this one on CPO, you'll enjoy it if you like Daphnis and Chloé. Next, and this is a total masterpiece, this work. Really major, major work. Gabriel Pierné, Cydalise et le chèvre-pied. That's Cydalise and the centaur. That's what a chèvre-pied is, the goat foot, or whatever you would call it in French. And this performance is on timpani with the Orchestre Philharmonique du Luxembourg under David Chalon. Now, this piece has been recorded in suite form a couple of times. You know, it has the March of the Adorable Little Fawn Creatures that some people sort of have heard before. You may actually recognize it without knowing where it is. I'm going to spare you the joy of singing it to you, but it's very cute. Anyway, this piece is much more of an evocation of sort of the ballets of Rameau and that crew. It has a certain neo-Baroque quality. It has individual numbers. There's a ballet within the ballet, but it's no less symphonic in concept. And what's wonderful about this particular piece, about Cydalise et le chèvre-pied and Pierné in general, is the contrast between the very modern frame with, again, that magical scoring with the wordless choirs going in the background, and you know, it's wonderful. Then the highly stylized and formal individual dance numbers that are interspersed with this sort of frame. It's a bit like, actually, if you're going to compare it to Ravel, less Daphnis and Chloé than Ma Mère Loire, Mother Goose, where Ravel wrote those hypnotically beautiful, dreamy interludes in between the actual numbers, the individual numbers of the ballet. That's kind of what Cydalise et le chèvre-pied is. But this is a magnificent performance in gorgeous sound. It's the only one, folks, at least as far as I know. There may be another one floating around out there somewhere, but the other ones are all performances of the suite. And I mean, there's some very good ones. There's one in the Martinon box, for example, so you may have some of the music, but you should hear the whole thing. You really should, because it's a seriously large, major work in fantastic sound that deserves to be in every single collection known to mankind, including yours. Finally, we're leaving France entirely. We're going someplace else. Where are we going? Czechoslovakia. This is a piece that I think is one of the great masterpieces of the stage. And I'm not kidding. I mean, this is an incredibly, fabulously written, tuneful, delicious, marvelous, humorous. It's got everything, absolutely everything. And it's only been recorded once in the history of humanity. And although it's still available in various ways, I mean, I just downloaded it to my iPhone, so I know you can get it, and it's not that expensive. Vítězslav Novák's Nikotina. Now, what the heck is Novák and Nikotina, right? Okay, here's the deal. Nikotina is a monk who's addicted to snuff, which is, you remember, inhalable tobacco. And so he has a nicotine addiction. And he's so addicted that he has hallucinations. And in those hallucinations, Nikotina, the sexy female embodiment of his addiction, appears to him and leads him on a series of adventures. It's just delightful. Oh, it couldn't be more wonderful. But what's even more amazing is Novák's score. It is, talk about a choreographic symphony. This is a choreographic symphony. It's phenomenally well put together. It's all based on the opening theme, which is bum 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 ba da da dum bum ba 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 da ba da 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 da. Okay. Excuse me. I know. But let's face it. I mean, how many critics are going to hum Nikotina to you? It's an extra bonus. I fell in love with this piece the minute I heard it. It is so tightly written, so carefully thought out, but at the same time, it's got a tango in it. It's got wonderful Czech folk-like tunes. The orchestration is extraordinary. It's Ravelian in its virtuosity. It's just magnificent. You have to hear this. I mean, you just have to hear this. It is so great. I could cry. That's how great it is. And no one knows it. And no one performs it. And no one records it. This is the only one. It's with the Brno State Philharmonic with František Žílek, who was a wonderful conductor, of Vienna Czech and all those other people. It's great. So if you like Daphnis and Chloé and you really want to take the next step in your enchanted, magical ballet journey, here you go. Novak's Nikotina. It just couldn't be a greater piece of music. I mean, Novak, we're going to talk about works of his, in future videos, because he was absolutely first-class composer. But my God, this is a great piece. And there's another one of these. It's part of a pair. The other is Signorino Gioventù, which I'm not going to talk about right now. It's a very, very different sounding work. But get Nikotina. Nikotina. You owe it to yourself to hear this piece as soon as you possibly can. And that, my friends, is where you go next if you love Ravel's Daphnis and Chloé. And since we all love Ravel's Daphnis and Chloé, as I said, we are all going to enjoy Narcisse et Echo by Tcherepnin, Cydalise et le chèvre-pied by Gabriel Pierné, and most importantly of all, Nikotina by Vítězslav Novák on Supraphon. You can't live without it. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this has given you some additional reasons to keep on listening and enjoy. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this video. Keep it up, folks. We've got tons more to talk about. I'm so excited about what's coming in the future. Take care.